What is going on, guys? Josiah LaRue here. So today we're going to be talking about some of the latest news from CES Day 1. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about some of the latest news from CES on Day 1. So this is going to be a several day part series as I kind of review some of the top stories or top things that have been released or talked about at CES 2015. So Day 1, here we go. It's over. There's been a fair amount of press releases, the big ones being LG, Samsung, Nvidia took the stage yesterday in their pre-CES conference. So let's talk about some of the stuff that's been released. So first up was Nvidia, and they had several big releases. Probably one of their big one was their new X1 chip. So they had K1 last year, now they have X1 this year. Now this thing is an 8-core, 64-bit with 256 GPU cores monster of a chip that is for mobile. And yet they have it rendering, it's on their mobile Maxwell-based architecture. So it's using scaled down stuff from the actual desktop class GPU, and you can tell because even though it sips on power, it punches through with performance. They were doing things that were equivalent to 2 years ago modern day desktop graphics card processing on just a mobile display running off this chip, and it's quite amazing. In fact, Nvidia is so confident about its power and performance that they're actually building Drive PX, which is combining two of these with cameras and other sensors to actually create an autonomous car driving system. So they could plug this system into a car and make it autonomous, which I think is cool. It is definitely the way of the future and definitely a big part in the CES, as most of the major car manufacturers, as I kind of predicted, are going to came out with electric cars and autonomous driving cars. So that's pretty cool. But again, in conclusion, the Nvidia X1, which I'm sure we'll be seeing in a new Shield and some other products coming up this year, is their brand new chip, and it is amazing. LG also had their press conference, and a couple interesting things that came out of that. First of all, they had their new phone, or one of the new ones I'm sure they're going to have coming out this year, is the G Flex 2. Last year they released the G Flex 1, and it was a curved phone, but it had a lot of issues with a low-res screen and low-res camera and just not very good build quality. But they came out with a new 5.5-inch display, looks like a lot better camera, and overall looks to be a pretty nice phone. So I guess we'll see. Reviewers will have to take a look at it, but LG is out with a new curved phone, so we'll be interested to see how that actually goes. And in interesting appliance news, they released a new washer set that is not only a regular full-size front-loading washer, but then in a slide-out drawer underneath where you'd normally put in like soaps or detergents or whatever, is called the LG Tiny Wash, which is pretty much what it's named. It's a tiny wash machine that slides underneath your regular size one. So you can do stuff like intimates or small loads while a bigger load is doing it as well. So if you want to wash your undies in one and then do all your big towels and jeans and stuff at the top one and get it all done at the same time, there you go. So that's kind of cool. Samsung also had their press conference, and while nothing really stunning popped out, they did introduce several new things. First of all, they released a new home smart kit, so they're trying to connect stuff like light bulbs, light switches, locks, doors, security, all together, merge it, make it smart, and then be able to control it on your phone or tablet. Obviously a Galaxy S5 or a Tab 10.1, of course, but I'm sure that they'll also be releasing some iOS versions as well. Other things they had was Android integration into the car, which is nice to see, as well as several large UDHD or ultra high definition TVs that are 60 plus inches, curved, and 4K plus. So high resolution, widescreen, and curved is all coming very strong this year. And finally, the star of the show, I think so far at least for Day 1, has been Razer's announcements with the Razer Forge, What is the Forge, you may ask? Well, that's their new set-top TV box, but it's way more than just a TV set-top box. Starts off being very powerful with a Snapdragon 805 processor, Adreno 420 GPU, and 16 gigs of onboard storage. It has Android TV, so you can play Google, Netflix, Hulu, Roku, as well as be able to stream to it from a Chromecast or to it just like any other Chromecast, so it'll act as a Chromecast device. So it'll do all of that. It'll play Android games from the Android App Store. But the most probably coolest thing is Cortex. What Cortex allows you to do is stream to it from a PC. Yes, you may have heard of this in the NVIDIA's Shield and NVIDIA Shield streaming service, but that is exclusive to NVIDIA. The benefit of Cortex is that it is GPU oblivious. It doesn't matter what GPU you're running, you can stream to your Forge TV because it's actually a software-based protocol. So whether you're using onboard embedded graphics on your laptop, or whether you have a ballin' out R9 290X AMD or a 780 or a 980 NVIDIA card, doesn't matter what it is, if it can play a game and you can install this software, it can stream over to your Forge TV and you can play on your TV. Razer released several different accessories with this, including what they call the Serval, a game controller very reminiscent of an Xbox 360 controller and very reminiscent of the Xbox controllers that Razer already produces. So if you've held one, you probably held it already. It works. It's a functional game controller. You can have 4 of them up to at one point, so if you have a multiplayer game that can handle 4, you can actually have all 4 people playing at the same time. The other alternative was what they call Turret, which is a collapsible or bifolding keyboard and mouse. So it's a full keyboard as well as a fairly decent sized mouse pad that folds out, that's now one solid piece along with the keyboard. And then it has a smaller mouse that looks kind of like the Kraken, but very small. The interesting thing about it is it has a magnet on the bottom so that you can take your hand off the mouse, and no matter how you tilt your knees or if it falls on the floor or whatever, the mouse will stay stuck to that surface. But then if you want to move it around, there's no type of strong interference like you're trying to jerk a magnet away. So that is probably the coolest thing. A keyboard and mouse for being on the couch and gaming, but it also folds down very compactly and slides right on their charging dock, and overall it just looks slick. I can't wait to get my hands on one of these. I'm becoming more and more of a Razer fan every day. This stuff is not cheap, however. The Forge TV itself is $99, so actually fairly aggressively priced for what it can do, right up there with the Fire TV, the Apple TV, the Roku. So it's competitive, but it does so much more. Then if you pay $150, you can get it with the controller. The price for the Turret keyboard and mouse have not been released yet, but I'm guessing that'll probably be at least another $50 to $75 on top of that. So that's something that I would get probably more than the actual controller, as I way prefer mouse and keyboard. But overall, Razer, I think you did great, and I think this is such a cool product. And who knows, maybe you'll get CES Best of Show this year too. So yeah guys, those were some of the top things that I thought were important or worth reviewing from CES Day 1. There's a lot more to come. We still have several more days, and most of the big computer manufacturers have still yet to come up and release a lot of stuff. So yeah, it'll just be interesting to see what other companies have cool stuff to release for 2015. Let me know in the comment box down below, what did you think of some of the stuff I talked about? How cool is that Razer Forge TV? Do you think it's cool? Do you think it's something you would buy? What do you think about gaming on the couch? Let me know in the comment box down below. As always guys, thanks for watching. You can check out last week's episode right here and what I talked about right here. Hit that like and subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of my content from CES, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!